So you probably heard the news. Patch 4.3 is out. Yeah, about that. So I did a video when they announced 4.3 and not everyone agreed with me, but it got a discussion going, so they finally released 4.3 to the masses. I should mention that this is being filmed just a little more than 24 hours after 4.3 was put on the public servers. So this is much more of an immediate response to it than it is anything else. I should also mention that I am a casual gamer, and I don't know all the tweaks, I don't know how to get all the numbers, I don't know how to make everything work along those lines, and if anybody starts looking at me again and telling me, oh, well, you can get more DPS if you just respec everything and do this, I'm going to take out my PGP and give you a 68 caliber tonsillectomy. But I digress. So let's start with the promises of 4.3 from the website on launch day. New raids, unexplored dungeons, story development. Okay, nothing interesting here, for me anyway. My main is Vel. I also have a similar tune on the Horde sign named Dregor. Neither of these guys can access the new raid or dungeon content. Why? Gear score. I touched on this gear score thing in the past, and it's basically the average level of your gear. Now, working within the system and unable to do even low-level raids, the best gear score I could get is probably around 365 or so, and the new content requires 375. Wait a minute, what's that I hear you say? I can actually do raids and get a higher gear score by doing raids? I'm terribly sorry. You must have me confused for somebody who can actually get into a raiding guild.
Well, how do I get on the roster?
You have to be in the union.
Well, how do I get in the union?
When you're on the roster.
You mean I can't join unless I'm already a member?
That's correct.
Now, they did do one thing in 4.3, and that is make high gear accessible to lowly plebeians like myself. The new Quartermaster gear is higher in level, which means that all that gear I worked for months to get is now pretty much useless. Thanks, Blizz. And I thought computer obsolescence was bad. So, they also have a random raid finder, and this was something I was looking forward to doing. The idea that I could just queue up for old raids and get stuff for achievements and transmog sounded great. In reality... This right here? This would be my disappointed face. Too high level, yep. Gear score is yet again an issue. Now at slightly lower level you can queue in for random raids, but it takes into account that other people are looking to fill in the ranks of their raids. The random dungeon finder works differently. You click a key, you get placed in the queue, and when a tank or a healer decide they're bored, you get a group. But the random raid finder isn't like that at all. What this means is that all those raids from like Vanilla WoW, BC, and Lich King, those are pretty much out of my grasp because, well, those are all old raids, and nobody's still doing any of the old raids because they're just so old. And then on the off chance that maybe somebody wants to do one of those things, they expect you to know the fight because those are just ancient raids. Everybody's done those a million times before, but I haven't done those because...
I don't handle anybody unless they are professionally gilded.
I think you mean gilded.
Another time. Another time. And there's a new quest line for rogues, too, to make them more powerful. Yeah, like they need the help. But the biggest disappointment for me was void storage and transmogrification. I say this because of how it's handled. First, void storage. As of this moment, it costs 1,000 gold to open it up and 25 gold for each item you want to long-term store. Translation, it's a money sink. Alright, backtrack. We gotta take a step back here. Cataclysm inherited a problem from Lich King, and that's a matter of economy. You see, when you get to the top level, instead of gaining more experience every time you finish something, you just get more money. So you got a lot of people of high level who have more money than common sense. And couple that with people who know how to game the system, they know how to work the auction house, and essentially what you have is a skyrocketing of basic materials. So that low-level tunes can't do some of the things that they need to do because they just simply can't afford it, and the high-level tunes are just basically just trying to screw each other to get more money out of each other. And it really just sucks. So as a result, it seems that WoW has tried everything possible to somehow suck money out of the game economy. I've had triple-digit repair bills, and that's the biggest money sink in the game. It's obvious that void storage is just another way to suck money out of the player economy because it's 25 gold every time you want to put something in there. You also can't store some stuff in void storage like holiday items or anything with used charges, which completely sucks. And oh yeah, any items that had durability, now they have durability, and you can't put broken items into void storage. So you gotta spend money to repair gear that never was damaged or used in the first place so that you can spend money to store it? I mean, geez, why doesn't the king just put a tax on breathing while we're at it? Transmogrification in itself is also a big issue here too. I haven't tried all the combos that I could yet, but I've already seen some problems with it. One of them being that holiday items cannot be used. I guess I kind of expected that, but in reality, when else am I going to wear this stuff? It's also kind of cool to have all my old looks back, but I gotta store these items in my bank and not in void storage. So working the numbers here, if you've got a PvP and a PvE set, and a lot of people do, that's 26 slots worth of gear that's taken up by just holding onto it so you can swap between the two. Okay, that's fairly commonplace. Now if you're going to transmog that stuff, that means you've got to take another 26 slots somewhere to hold on to the stuff that you're transmogging, which puts me basically back to square one, because this is taking up a lot of bank space for me, and if I happen to find stuff in the world that I want to transmog it to later, I gotta hold on to that stuff somewhere too. This is my not so amused face. All in all, 4.3 is a big boat of fail. What some people have said is that this is Blizzard's admission that they really dropped the ball in Cataclysm and they're just trying to wrap it up as fast as they can to move on to Pandaria. Originally, I didn't think so until I saw the city full of Tyrell's Chargers. It's this special flying mount that you could only get if you sign up for a 12-month subscription commitment. So, yeah, they're down to using cell phone tactics in order to keep people around for a year and hope that they stick around after Mr. Pandaria hits. Yeah, and they start wondering why 1 million subscribers have left since Cataclysm came out? Not really much of a mystery to me. As far as 4.3 goes, I'm not incredibly happy with this. Now, there's not a lot of new content for casual gamers like myself. If you're one of the elite players, or you want to be one of the elite players, yeah, there's a lot of new stuff out there, but I didn't even notice a difference. If the servers weren't even down for half a day, I really wouldn't have even noticed anything was really going on. But I suppose what WoW is doing is they want to try to cater to that elite clientele that's going to keep on with the game no matter what, and that's fine. Go ahead, ignore us all you want to. Just don't be surprised when we just up and leave and go play, you know, DC Universe or Dungeons & Dragons Online or any one of the given 100 other free MMOs that are out there. You know, actually, come to think of it, anybody up for a sit-in Irvine, California? I'm game.